75 pages. 75 pages are all it took for my father to disown me. Always be honest. It's best to tell the truth. Follow your heart. Do what's best for you, right? But what about the consequences? What happens when you actually decide to go for it? December 16, 2022, I published my memoir, And the Words from a Broken Girl. To give you the whole spiel, I took a deep dive into the past 20 years of my life in order to grow and heal as an individual. I wanted others to feel validated for the experiences they've been through, and to be able to use my story to incite the conversation of generational trauma. But what exactly is generational trauma, which is also known as intergenerational trauma and generational curse? It's a phrase that gets thrown around so many times on TikTok and Instagram, for instance, but what does it actually mean? According to Duke University, intergenerational trauma is a concept used to explain years of generational challenges within a family. Whatever challenges your parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents, and so on went through, they've learned to cope with that in a particular way. For instance, by being emotionally distant, which in turn is how they interact with you, which impacts your relationship with them and how you interact with others as well. In my family, the way we deal with our trauma and experiences is simply by not acknowledging it. That is how my father and myself deal with our problems. So you can only imagine the response I received to publishing my memoir. You see, in order to write a memoir, you have to address everything that happened regarding that particular topic that you're addressing, including the particular parties involved. So naturally, it means telling the truth. 75 pages of brutal honesty regarding what I felt in the experiences that I went through are all it took for my father to disown me. As a Haitian girl, you should stay put, stay quiet. You do not share your feelings, let alone your emotions. In Haitian households, mental health is not a thing. Kisasaye. In other words, what is that? So we learn to deal with our problems in different ways, because no one likes to hear the truth about how their actions impacted someone else. So we build tactics on how to deal with certain things. Denialism, refusing to acknowledge that the trauma even happened. Minimization, ignoring the impact of the trauma and making the traumatic experience appear smaller than it really is. That's how you cope, isn't it? That's how I cope. We minimize and disregard our trauma until one day you're fed up, and if you're like me, you write a memoir, And the Words from a Broken Girl, dedicated to the child inside who never had an outlet. But that's not how everyone copes. Left unacknowledged, generational trauma can lead to suicide, drug abuse, depression. Generational trauma, whether or not we view it as such, is a public health issue. If attention is not brought to it, it will continue in a pervasive cycle, thus putting more individuals, such as minorities and children, at risk of experiencing adverse life and childhood experiences, which leads to more trauma. Before you are pushed to the brink or become disowned, take the first step to acknowledge your trauma and experiences, even if it means writing your own 75 pages. It is up to you to acknowledge your trauma. It's a curse that will continue to get passed down. As I exit this stage, I implore you to break the curse before it breaks you.